here last year, and I took a trip out there in November last year. We put a program in place, and we're in a really good place at the moment. I think the riders are going to be really happy with the footing. We also have, it's important to note, we have now an automatic irrigation system there where we can control the moisture levels on the arena in a more accurate way. So I think when riders come, first of all, they may see a bit of a difference in the aesthetics. I know that we're taking particular pride in how we're mowing and fertilizing and greening it up, but more importantly, in terms of the performance, it should be surer footing and should be more consistent than previous years.
This year, especially, we had a show in July. Everyone was raving about it. The horses jump really, really well on this field. It's unique because it's got a bowl shape, so it's really nice for the spectators. And for us, that top quality footing is just really what we're looking for. We want to be among the best in the world. We have a grass field that's getting to be unique in our sport, and we just really want to make sure it's the best international quality it can possibly be. When you have a venue with a world-class grass field, it's just that next level, right? You think of Spruce Meadows, you think of Aachen. Eventually, I want them to be thinking about Ottawa, and the only way to do that is with investment in the footing.
It's a huge factor when we're selecting shows that we're going to try and compete in right at the end of the day. The health and safety of our horses is paramount, right? So to see that facilities like this and otherwise are putting the time and the effort into making sure that it's all the very best we can possibly give the horses, it's fantastic.
I actually got caught up in storms last night and got rerouted, which is relevant to this question because when I walked on the grass field today, I had to walk the track for the schooling class. You couldn't even tell that it had rained. And so that's just a testament to how good of a job they've done maintaining the grass. And I hope that this show continues and that they can have more, international level shows here because it's such a pleasure to jump on good grass.
It's a great team, really well resourced. And led by Karen, who's very passionate about giving the best surface we can there. So I'm really looking forward to riders riding on and seeing the difference.
Well, delighted to be joined now by the course designer, Gregory Bodeau. Talk us through some of the key challenges here on this course for the Grand Prix.
Okay, this course, I'm going to explain quickly this course, especially about some parts with the technical lines and also the different profile fences. For me, the course will be very challenging for the rider after the first double combination to the number 5. Also, it's always sometime impressive for the horse, the water. It will be the first time this week to jump the water. But normally with the spread with 355, it will not the problem. The big problem will be also for everybody after the water. The horses will be very lost the control, the balance. You need to check to manage the balance. You have the plank on top, the light plank with the maximum of the height 155. After the second combination, the triple combination, for me totally easy, no problem. Sometimes you have some problem with the back pole. To be careful with the back pole of the first element. For the vertical, no problem. The distances is totally comfortable. After we have 6 sliding bands, to be careful with the first pole of the number 10. It is a wide oxer, 160 for the spread. After we have the last line, the vertical sponsor Brook Street, 155, normally no problem with this kind of fence. After you have 2 oxer for to finish. Probably with the Liverpool, the Blue Jay will be challenging for the riders, and also the number 13, because you have normally after to finish the course 5 stride, little bit short, normally little bit short.
Just talk briefly around the ground. It's held up so well, and they've invested a lot to ensure that this is top quality for these riders.
Absolutely. This is very, very nice to build here for me, especially, I like to build on the grass arena, and here in Ottawa, the footing is wonderful. honestly. I am very delighted to build here with the super jump also, and normally it will be super for the horses to jump here.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much.
Well, we couldn't do this without the support of our sponsors, and we caught up with Mark Motors. Well, one of the long-time supporters here of the Ottawa International is the Mark Motors Group. I have two of the leading Irish international riders, and they're going to have a look at some of the cars joining us here.
The Land Rover.
Nice space for Ralphie, isn't there, Ralph? Yeah, he's got a good view.
Good for a farm, this. It's a lovely luxury
Good for a
car.
farm.
That's what it's for. That's what they're built for. Land
no.
Rovers are built for a farm, especially Discovery.
We'll have to look at the trunk. You call it a trunk, man. We call it a
Boot.
boot. Aye. Get a few
Bags.
bags of feed in there. A few bales of hay.
On to the next. You had one of these. Get in
Yeah,
there.
I have one of these. I have one of these. Actually, still do. Up
still
there,
have
Ralphie, to see what you think. Audis are good cars.
They are.
You know what?
Started up there and you see this.
I'm an Audi man myself. Look at that lovely steering wheel.
That is actually very nice. Isn't it?
Yeah. That is a nice wee car just to tip around town in, will it be?
There's nearly a bigger boot than that in that car, though, in
Trunk, man, trunk.
trunk.
This one we don't know now, really.
No.
Alfa Romeo.
They have a lot of good reports, though. That's nice, Connor. It's been a much more sporty car.
Yeah.
And
Sounds like it has a wee bit more power. We like a bit of
sport.
a bit of speed. We enjoy a bit of speed in the cars.
Strange whenever you're so slow in the ring, actually.
Ah, well, I don't know what happens when I go into the ring, you know. I get all nervous. Maserati.
I've had a few of them
You've had a few of these? How do you start them up?
here.
Oh,
Now you were talking.
a bit of a snore off that.
Well, best
Like that.
I read it.
All right, Ralphie. All right. They'll scare you. They'll scare you. You're in trouble.
They're getting faster here as we go down this side. I don't think that's on purpose, but that's actually nice, isn't it?
Yeah. Very nice.
I like that, and so do you. You're
Yeah.
impressed with that.
Yeah. Wouldn't mind taking a rip in this bus. Just maybe Margaret give us one of these, would he?
Well, we need two, actually.
I know, one each.
I actually have one of these as well.
You do, do.
I have two of these.
There is this start up. Is it there? No.
No.
What's
Yes,
this?
there.
Porsche is a Porsche. Very nice inside, isn't it? What do you think, Mr. Alfie?
Strangely enough, I thought I would take the Alfa Romeo there, but when I walked through them all, Maserati has to be
Well, just I think the power of that engine is sort of appealing to us, no?
for a hothead. That's what you're gonna pick out of them all. Standing
Take
out.
any of them. Take any of them. If he was giving them to me.
Pick any of them. Take any of them.
Bonjour et bienvenue. Good afternoon and welcome to the RBC Ottawa International and also the RBC 4-Star Grand Prix, where a total of 18 will line out here for a prize fund of $185,000 US dollars. The winner will walk away with about 75,000 Canadian dollars. Stellar field among those 18 athletes, some wonderful horses as well, and it's a pleasure to be joined once again here in the commentary booth with Mac. Mac Cohn was one of the leading athletes for the US and Canada, and also an Olympian with a silver medal, and an absolute pleasure to have the analysis and insight. And let's have a little look at the course, Mac. As we've heard from Gregory, it's a really interesting course, lots of flow, lots of bending lines and rollbacks, but what are some of the challenges you think that lies ahead?
Yeah, I think Mr. Bodo kind of sugar-coated it a little bit. I think it's a lot tougher than he was saying it is, actually. I think that the tough part, that's number 2. That is a big triple bar coming early like that. And if the time allowed start, you're going to be turning back to it off a short turn. And it's a big early jump. And then this in and out that's waiting, let's see, 4AB, that always jumps poorly over there. I don't know what it is about that part of the field, but the in and outs when they build them there, they're not easy. They don't jump really well. And then the water line, I think there's an option there from 6 to 7. You'll see both direct forward 7s to the water, but you'll see some waiting 8s, I believe, also. And then there's an option if you want it to the big, tall, skinny plank after the water right at the gate, 7 or 8. And we'll just see what happens here.
Some wonderful athletes, as I've said. We have some Olympians. We have the Irish very much dominating with Conor Swale winning 3 of the previous competitions. We have a wonderful contingent of Canadian riders as well, but it's all to play for, Mac.
Yeah, it's a really great group, and I'm excited about the course. When you keep walking lines over and over again, you know it's a good track because you're scratching your head a bit. That's a good course.
Well, we will continue to discuss the course as the competition unfolds, as the bell has been sounded for the first one. Very best of luck to all of them. Bon chance as we start off with one for the home crowd and home nation here. Made a debut on the Nations Cup back in 2022 and really continued to grow in their career. 3rd in the Grand Prix at Caledon and from Bolton in Ontario. Riding Dominica van der Luskuva, Susan Horn. Final 2 fences, well that's a total of 8 there for Susan Horn. Dominica van der Luskuva, so 81.01, time led there 86 seconds. Real shame just towards that final part there.
Yeah, that was really too bad. That's one of the options. I didn't quite get to it before. From 11 to 12, you can keep coming up in the 8 steps, or you can wait in the 9. She decided to wait in the 9. I think she just did it too late. She should have landed and grabbed the back end of the line and then leave room to come up. It's too bad. There's just a little mistake.
Well, not to be for the first of the Canadian riders, but we're going across the border for the Stars and Stripes. It's a rider that was top 7 in the FEI World Cup final in Fort Worth this year. He was dominated some of the podium finishes across the last number of days. He rides Helios de Moulon, and also an athlete that finished top 3 in Dublin. And that's notable because that is a grass arena. Will that stand to test? The next rider for the United States, Aaron Vale. So just the 4 faults then. Really unfortunate start there for Aaron Vale, Helios de Moulin. Never nice having that first fence down, Mac.
Yeah, that's a shame. He didn't deserve that. That horse jumped around just great, and they're making a liar out of me so far. They're making the water line look really easy. Just keep it simple, stupid. Just come forward in 7. Don't mess around with the 8. Just come forward in 7 and then 7 to the planks. It makes it work really nice. That was a beautiful ride. That's a shame.
Well, that's like everything with horses. They'll make a fool out of both of us.
Yeah,
it's so hard to predict.
Yeah.
As we go to the third to present here. Still looking for that first clear, and this is a rider that was top 6 in the opener here on Thursday. Riding Khalida is a rider previously representing the United States, and First Nations Cup outing for Israel was at the European Championships last year in A Coruña. For Israel is Vanessa Hood. So finishes with 8 with 2 down, Vanessa Hood and Khalida. Well, so far it's a real mix of those falters right across the arena. That's a good sign.
It's a very good sign. Well, it's not a good
well,
sign.
not a good sign.
No, but like Mr. Bodo said, that this is a meter 55 vertical. That's nothing to sneeze at there, you know, and that came down. And then the planks, meter 55 also, nothing to sneeze at. She overrode it, I thought, and pushed him through it too much, but just 2 tall verticals that came down. The Oxers make the verticals hard.
Well, let's see if we can get the first clear produced by this young rider, and made her Senior Nation Cup debut in Langley last year. Won the 2-star qualifier here last year, and then was top 2 in the 2-star qualifier already this week. Isidore Descholisse for the USA, Michaela Langmuir. Clear round. That's what we were looking for. It's perfect by Michaela Langmuir, Isidore Descholisse. Well, that's the first and a wonderful way to get that clear there.
Yeah, she did a great job with that horse. It's a very powerful, easy jumping horse with, I think, a lot of blood to it that she keeps under control. And she was so good early in the course, it is a moment of silence every jump, just making it use its scope. She had to kick it at the water a little bit, and then it woke up and it got a little bit electric. But then she put it back to sleep for the last line and came home like a kitten. It was really well done.
Well, we go now to a rider that was the reserve champion at the Royal Toronto Show in 2023. Give a warm welcome with Casademo, Sam Pegg, Canada. So 2 on the floor, so it is just the 8 faults for Sam Pegg and Casademo. Time allowed there is 86 seconds, and no issues with the time from any of those riders so far, Mac.
No, the time, I mean, they're galloping hard. They're all quick, fast riders, and these horses are trained to go fast. But no, it's not, you know, it's not a big issue. It was interesting to see Sam do the 8 strides to the water. A little shorter strider did strided horse in the one before and fit the 8 in well. So it is a bit of an option, but you'll see more 7s, I think. I thought the horse jumped well, though, huh? He was good.
Presenting Panther JWH is a lady that was 3rd in the King George Cup in Hickstead earlier this summer, a former Canadian national champion. For Canada, Nikki Walker. Just finishes with the 4 falls for Nicole Walker and Panther JWH. Well, these horses and riders are really giving it their all here, Mac.
They really are. So far, I would say the course is winning so far. That's what I was talking about when we talked earlier about how that in and out over on that side of the ring can jump quite difficult. I walked a 10 stride. The riders have been doing 10s and 11s, and Nikki actually did 12. Maybe if she'd left one of those out, it would have come out over the oxer a little bit easier.
Well, now to a combination that was second in that jump-off competition here yesterday. Looking to continue that success and go one better. Well, he needs to go clear in this first round. He's an Olympic athlete and produced 2 wonderful clear rounds in last week's Dublin Horse Show in the Nations Cup for Ireland. He's ranked as 20th in the Longines World Rankings. For Ireland, Daniel Coyle, Yorval Z. Just the one down. It is the middle element of the triple combination. 4 faults for one of the favourites. Daniel Coyle there, Mac.
Yeah, the horse is jumping really, really well, and he did one of the 8 strides now, a second one to do the 8 strides, maybe third to the water. So there is definitely an option there. He came around and met that triple beautifully because it's a big A going in, and the horse jumped it so well he put him in too deep to the B part, and he didn't have a chance to keep his technique good and get his front legs up and in front of him. He jumped in so strong. I think it just caught Daniel off guard how well he jumped in, and he didn't have much of a chance to jump B, and he had it down. It's too bad.
We got out to a rider that won the 2-star Grand Prix in Caledon and goes with Calippo. For the home nation, Canada, Dylan Munro. Just the 4 faults. It's the plank that goes for Dylan Munro and Calippo, and that plank is starting to become influential, especially on that corner as well.
Yeah, and after the water, of course. I mean, your stride gets more open in front of a water than anywhere else on the course. You can go out to 16 8-foot stride there, and you're usually on 12, 6, 13 feet, something like that. It's a huge, huge difference. The horse just didn't listen to Dylan at the planks either. His tongue was coming out of his head, and he was shaking his head all around. He has an unusual jumping style, but if you can just get him near the jump halfway organized, he's got so much scope, he just jumps it the way he wants to. He gets away with it.
To a rider next that was in a part of the Nations Cup team that's placed second in Thunderboard with Anton is Gavin Moylan, Canada. Two knockdowns then, so it is 8 falls for Gavin Moylan and Anton. So not to be for Gavin there, Mac.
Yeah, you know, Gavin's really got the horse organized, and you know, the flat work is there. You can see the balance is good. He's riding it really, really well. The horse just jumps a little bit low with his belly. He slithers sometimes, but gets away with it. He knows where the rails are, but just those two spots, he just didn't get away with it, right? It's too bad. But Gavin really has his horse trained really well.
Well, we sort of in around the halfway mark now, just the one clear. We're looking for that second one to create the all-important jump off, and we still have quite some talent coming up. So the likes of Conor Swale is a winner here, 3 times across the last number of days, but 2 more also for the home nation, Carly Campbell-Cooper and Sean Jobin. Be nice to get another one.
Well, we'll get another one. There's not going to be a lot. This doesn't surprise me that we're halfway through and only one clean. This is, of course, it impressed me. And, you know, I thought, okay, there's a lot of meat with the potatoes out here today, you know.
Well, we go to the penultimate rider for the home nation here. Carly Campbell-Cooper presents Baratino PS for Canada. It was so close. It's the back rail of fence number 12, and that is an unfortunate 4 falls that prevents Carly Campbell-Cooper from going through to that jump off. 12 with the water tray. That can also cause issues.
Yes, that was a hard break. It's too bad. I thought Carly was riding the horse real well, but I thought today that horse is actually being really generous for Carly, jumping really well. But after the number 11 Brook Street, they both went way off to the right, and the horse his mouth kind of went dead on her, and she couldn't really make him get back in the line and compress for that 9 strides, and he just had it down. It was too bad. The rest was very good.
Well, we're going to Theo next, and the rider that's riding this is the aforementioned Conor Swale. 3 wins here this weekend, or this week already. Nations Cup veteran, and at Thunderbirds in May he had 5 wins and 5 different horses across 8 days. He is representing Ireland. Conor Swale with Theo. Clear on for Conor Swale and Theo. We have our jump off. Absolute perfection by the world number 27. Well, that's how you do it, Mark.
That was a masterful ride. That was really, really well done. There's nothing to say other than just great job. Great job. Yeah, I love this course. The more they jump it, the more I like it.
If only you could get out there and give it a go.
That's right.
Well, we go to the next rider that represents the Stars and Stripes across the border of the US with Facutal S. It's a rider that was top 6 in the 2-star qualifier here yesterday. The lady that won the 5-star and 2-star Grand Prix here last year. To defend the title for the United States of America, Adrian Sternlicht. We're on a roll. It's a clear for Adrian Sternlicht and Facutal S. Another clear for a US rider, and 3 now through to the jump off.
Yeah, that horse is a big, strong horse, son. He's more of the big, scopy scopy type of animal, and Adrian, she's a little girl, but she handles that big horse really well. And the more I see him go, he just gets better and better. I think he's definitely got the makings of being quite a nice horse. That was really, really a good job.
Well, we're down to the final 6 or so, and we go to a combination that was top 5 in the 4-star qualifier. Real breakthrough last summer after that win in the 3-star Grand Prix in Traverse City. Rider that's very much on form this week, Charlize Casas, Canny Fee for the United States. Crosses the final fence there with just the plank on the floor. So it is 4 falls for Charlize Casas, Canny Fee.
Yeah, once again, it was just too bad. I think she just needed to pull harder, give him just a little more room after the water. You know, that's maybe some experience of how the horse reacts after jumping a water. You have to jump a few waters to really get used to that. But I really like the animal. He jumps light, he goes up, he jumps in his own technique a little like a deer, but he's light as a feather and he spends time in the air. It's not a quick, fast jump. Just needed a little more room. He just didn't come back. That was too bad.
Well, we're going to remain with the US riders, and rider that was top 4 in the 2-star Open, riding Kingston today, is Blythe Morano. So 2 down is 8 falls for Blythe Morano and Kingston. You know, it's really difficult track here, but it's not supposed to be easy. As Gregory talked, this is about championship progression, and there's criteria that has to be put into this Grand Prix.
You bet. It's not easy. It's tough. 4-star is getting close to the top for sure. And that little horse jumped a really, really good round. He just didn't realize how big the war was ahead of time. Yeah.
Mimi Gochman next, Insulin BH. So 2 down, and again, an unfortunate round there for Mimi Gochman and Insolent BH, unable to go through to that jump off. But some of these riders will have lots to learn from this course.
Well, yeah, it's just the same thing happened again in that double over there that I talked about. That jump's difficult over there. I thought she rode in perfectly, and it just caught him off guard, and it was bigger and wider. He needed to push a little hard to get out. And then no matter what they did, she did 8 to the water. No matter what they do, those planks are still waiting there, and they're really, you could jump them 10 times, you're going to knock them down 5.
We go now to former Canadian national champion and the last for the home nation with our Cougar, Sean Jobbin, Canada. So it is a really disappointing 4 faults there for Sean Jobbin and our Cougar. 75.92 is the fastest round that we have seen so far, though. So that's interesting, Mac.
Yeah, I bet if you ask Sean now, he would have said, you know, to get down there in the 7 strides, I really had to get way over my rhythm for this horse. And then it really caught up with me at the planks. He was just over his rhythm there. If he'd done the 8 and trusted the horse to jump the water off the 8, it'd have been a little smoother up to those planks, and he probably would have jumped them.
Well, we have just the 2 left to go. So with that performance, Sean Jobbin is guaranteed to be within the top 6 as it stands, with Charlotte Bettendorf receiving the bell. She's ready and waiting. She's already been a winner here at the 2-Star Open and also the previous competition here this morning. Riding Good Girl, DK for Luxembourg, Charlotte Bettendorf. Clear round. That's the performance Charlotte Bettendorf was looking for to secure a spot in that jump off. Good Girl, DK, clear.
Yeah, she was very clever there. She kept on the compressed 8 to the water, and she's the first one to do it. She stayed out to the left and did not go on direct in 7 strides. She did 8, and then she did a wide 8 to the outside, and it kept the horse very much under control and didn't get the horse flat at all. It was very clever, and it's she's the first one in the class to do that, and the time allowed lets you do it. Yeah.
Well, we have just the one left to go. 4 are going through to that jump off, coming up in just a matter of minutes. But the final one is approaching the start with Flower Z. For the US is Olivia Venzo. Finishing up there with 8 false, Olivia with Flower Z for the US. 2 rails down.
Yeah, the first rail, the number 6 Oxer's right here in front of us, and it looked like she just got the horse just bouncing and waiting too long. Maybe leave one of those strides out and give him a little more room, and I think that would have helped out with that rail for sure. The rest looked quite good, huh? Quite good.
Well, we started with 18 and 5 nations represented. We always aim for in around the 20% to be coming back, and we're pretty much bang on there with 4 coming back, and Gregory has just absolutely perfected that.
Yeah, I'm even surprised we got 4. Once again, I'm really in love with this course. I think he did a bang-up job, and it's big and it's tough, and I like it when there's not a million in the jump off, and the course kind of wins to a certain degree, you know, and that was today. That was fun. That was really fun watching that.
And it needs to be. It's $185,000 US dollars. That's what's on stake. The winner will walk away with 75,000 Canadian dollars. And as we've talked, it's championship and you know, looking further ahead, even Olympic experience. Everything is out there on that course.
Yeah, and these course designers are FEI course designers, and if it's a 4-star event, they have to build a 4-star course. They can't just say, oh, well, the field's a little weak, we're going to make it a little something. No. They have to make it a 4-star. And 4-star is getting right to the top. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say au revoir to you, because you are going to have a little look at the jump-off course in just a moment, with Karen joining on the fields of play there in this Grand Prix arena. Magnificent setting, glorious arena, so meticulously maintained, and what a lineup. In that jump-off, coming up over 1:15:12, 9BC, 16:3, and 4B. But do not fear, we will have a little look at that course before we get things underway. But my word, those 4 riders are so talented. Michaela Langmuir, one of the youngest riders in the fields, and yet she has secured a spot in what was a really difficult first round. She was second in that 2-star qualifier here earlier in the week. She was a winner of the 2-star qualifier last year, in fact, second last week in a 3-star Grand Prix in Traverse City. We then move on to the Conor Swale. He'll be second to go, and well, ranked as 27th in the Longines World Rankings. He's won 3 times already this week. Now that was with a different horse. That was with Castorano, but he is in with a shot to win here this afternoon with Theo. We then go to Adrian Sternlicht, winner of both the 5-star and 2-star Grand Prix here last year. Will she be able to defend the title, or will it be a lady that has already won here today? won twice, in fact, across the last number of days for Luxembourg, Charlotte Bettendorf. That's the start list. That's the 4 that will be coming in. But let's have a quick look at that jump off course as we have Karen and Mac joining us in the arena. Over to you.
Thanks, Kelly. Well, my heart is open because we're covering. I wasn't sure we were going to have it clean, and then we had a couple do it for us. And we've got a couple in there that we've seen in this winter circle many times. I can't wait to talk with you, Mac, about this because we have Adrienne Sternlich, and I mentioned this before. She was the winner of both our Grand Prix last year. She really loves this grass ring. Tell me what you think about Adrienne.
Oh my goodness, she's quite the rider. She wouldn't have a gold world championship team medal around her neck from being a slouch, would she? She's a heck of a rider, and it's a real privilege to have her here in Canada jumping on this field.
And she knows how to perform under pressure, as you said, World Equestrian Games gold medalist. And she's here, she's done it again, she's in that jump off. I can't wait to see her give it a try. We've also got Connor Swale, and I tell you what, Connor's been in this winter circle so many times this week. He's really on fire, and he's a fast Irish rider. What do you think of him?
Yeah, it's been very impressive watching Connor. If you could have 20 or 30 of your best students sitting up there and you're teaching a clinic while he goes around, you couldn't have a better guy to watch all the basics and the way he trains and the horses jump. He's just impeccable.
The horses love him. I got to say, I was a little disappointed we wouldn't have the 2 Irish boys fighting it out with Daniel Coyle clean, but it doesn't happen. He's number 9 in the world, and it doesn't happen for everybody. Unfortunately, sometimes they come down, but I had a bit of a heartbreak when the triple there came down for Daniel. We've also got Michaela Langmeyer, and she is a fast rider, young lady, but a real fast rider. She won a class last year, and she's been great all year. Tell me what you think about Michaela.
Yeah, and this jump off is a pretty wide open jump off. Well, I guess we'll talk about that in a little while. Not a lot of related, it's just a lot of galloping, and that's a big, long strided, scopy horse, and she could probably open it up to 5th or 6th gear and just leave it right there and just let the horse do its own thing. It's going to be very competitive. I've really liked that animal a lot.
Oh yeah, I love the connection between Michaela and her horses. She really knows how to harness that beautiful energy of the animal, and boy, does she know how to go fast. And then let's talk for a second about Charlotte Bettendorf. That Luxembourg flag has gone up a couple times this year, so Connor and Charlotte have been our most winning rider here in the FEI. She's got a shot too, don't you think?
Oh my goodness, that horse had jumped just wonderful. I'm a big fan of Charlotte. I think, you know, she's a top, I shouldn't say female rider, but she's a top female rider. She can hang in with the boys with no problem. I think her basics are so strong. She's so strong. She really knows the game. I'm really impressed with Charlotte.
Yeah, I think that momentum that Connor and Charlotte have gives them a bit of an edge because they have been so comfortable winning here. They're going to feel really confident. But like I say, Michaela is a fast rider, and Adrienne does it time and time again, and she's the winner of this class last year. I think we're going to have a really exciting jump off, and I am just going to bring up what you just said, females versus male. You'll notice this is a sport where you have males and females competing equally, a very unique sport that way, and one I like to see, and we have the balance of both genders in this jump off, which I love. But let's shoot on for the ladies and the Irishmen and see where the cards lay. Back to you, Killian.
Thanks, Karen. Thanks, Mac. What a wonderful insight. We'll have a quick look, a whirlwind tour of this jump-off course. Come with me on a journey to over fence number 1. So that is all too familiar to us, is the orange uprights. But now we're going to go to a new additional fence. It's fence number 15. Now that's the colourful blue, white and red fence. It's over towards the middle of the arena. That's a vertical. We're now going on a left-hand turn. It's a rollback. You want to be tight, but you want to be accurate. Going into 12, that familiar water jump. We see Gregory with the green hat and white shirt there at fence number 12 with the parrots. Now we're going to fences 9B, 9C. We've removed the first element of that triple combination. It's reduced down to the 2 verticals with just the 1 stride in between. We then go on the right rein. We're going to fence number 16. Now that, in fact, that is fence number 8, but it is now an oxer within the jump off. So we then take a very interesting roll back to fence number 3. That is the Maple Leaf Canada uprights over towards the in-out gate. Final gallop to the final fence. All too important is fence 4B. Well, that is our sponsor fence. Our thanks to our friends at RBC for their continued support here, not just of this, the 4-Star Grand Prix, but the title sponsor for the Ottawa International. And as we say, $185,000. That's in US dollars. In fact, now 75,000 Canadian dollars will be going to our winner. We started off with 5 nations represented among those 18. We're down to just 3 nations, 2 for the United States, 1 for Ireland and 1 for Luxembourg. Time allowed is 53 seconds. And back with me in the commentary box is Mac. The jump-off course, lots of twists, lots of turns, especially what we are used to seeing in a jump-off course. They'll have to be really tight in those rollbacks, accurate and really quick.
Yeah, and what's interesting, there's no related distances out there, meaning they're too far apart to actually to walk. You know, you'd get up to 12, 15 strides. You can't walk that. Nothing past 9 or 10 do you walk. And there's not a related line at all, as you'll see, until the very end of the course. There's I walked a possible 10 strides all the way down to 4B is the last jump in the jump off. So it'll be interesting. They'll be on the gallop, stay on the gallop because they can, because there's no line that you got to shorten here. No, you don't have to shorten. You just keep going. And it's going to be really interesting that way, a big gallop out there.
We still have the water trade, fence number 12. That could be a little bit difficult, but I mean, there's just, again, so many technical questions out there. You know, the double, we have to have a double in the jump off. We have the rollback, interestingly, with the fence 8 now changed to a plank on top. Sorry, without the plank on top, but changed to an oxer towards that in-out gate. So there's loads of things that are remaining to be really challenging. It just doesn't come down to who's going to be fastest.
No, not at all. They still have to jump the jumps, and like you say, there's a lot of turns, but they're turns off gallops. They're not going to be shortening their strides. They'll keep their strides open.
Well, we're good to go, and the first one is in. Well, as the fanfare plays out and rings around the Grand Prix arena, we are joined by the first of 4. Bon chance, good luck to every single one of them, as we are ready to get underway with this, the RBC 4-Star Grand Prix jump-off. Well, the bell is sounded, and that is an indication for Michaela Langmuir as the first to go to take on this track with Isidore de Cholis to start her round. Well, a really great effort for the American rider, Michaela Langmuir and Isidore de Cholis. It is a fault in 43.96. And we also have to remember some of those fences actually have increased a little bit in the height as well.
Oh, yeah, but he's not going to go down. That was too bad. And once the horse got used to being on that big open rhythm after the second and third jump, then he figured out the rhythm she was trying to ask him to do, and he just jumped around the rest beautifully.
Well, we're good to go to the second to take on the track. He's already been a winner here 3 times this week. Will it be a 4th? It's good luck to Theo with Conor Swale, Ireland. Well, it's the Canadian fence number 3 that's knocked, and that's 4 faults for Conor Swale with Theo 42.03. A little bit tight on the rollback, but you have to take those chances.
Yeah, I mean, he had to take a chance. And the horse is so generous at the vertical in and out across the middle of the ring there. He was like, oh my goodness, he gave that to him. He gave it to him, and then he was good for the next jump, and then he tried it again, and then his luck just ran out there. It's too bad.
Well, at this stage, that is the leading time and score. 4 faults and 42.03. A clear round will very much take this lady into the lead. But will she go faster? Can she go faster? Well, with Facutal S, it is the reigning 4-star, 5-star last year, and also 2-star Grand Prix winner. Here to defend the title, it's Adrian Sterlicht. What a performance. Adrian Sterlicht and Facutal S. You can see the smile on her face as she crosses that finish line. 42.99, a clear. What a performance, Mac.
I was so impressed with the quality that horse kept, how careful he stayed as he kept moving on. He looks a little like a big, kind of easy-going, awkward type horse, but he just was so careful and so classy the whole way around as Adrian. She's amazing how she can maneuver that big horse. That was really great to watch.
Well, clear rounds in 42.99. That's what the last athlete needs to do or beat. A good girl, DK. That South Jose mare is back in with us. Will she be able to win again here today? Well, that's the time and score, but a little indication you can keep an eye on the clock. We want to be landing after the double in around 21 seconds. But more importantly, we need to keep them all up and in under 42.99. Good luck to the final one for Luxembourg, Charlotte Bettendorf. 43.25, a clear for Charlotte Bettendorf, and good girl DK. Well, that performance is good enough for second place.
She would have to be thrilled with that horse. What a careful horse. It looks like it's going to kick his hind legs right off his body up in the air. It's just amazing, the hind end on that horse. A really careful, classy, wonderful animal. And Charlotte, you know, she just does a great job every time she goes in the ring. It's great to watch her.
Well, the winner then here this afternoon in the RBC 4-star Grand Prix, a winner of the 5-star and 2-star Grand Prix last year, and she has defended the title. Well, Adrian Sternlicht is our winner. Well, Mac, talk about winning 2 Grand Prix last year and then to come back and defend the title. That's not easy.
That's not easy, and it's rare, right? You know, no matter who you are or what Grand Prix it is, very rarely do people win it. It happens, but 2 times in a row, 2 years in a row. And that, yeah, it's a great win for her. That was really well done. Really well done.
Your final thoughts then? You've loved the course, you've loved the jump off, and what a wonderful afternoon here of sport.
Yeah, you know, horses at this caliber galloping around on a wonderful grass field like this over these big jumps. If you're a fan at all, you got your money's worth today, huh? It was really show jumping at its best. You know, that was really great to see.
Well, thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. And in just a moment, we will get underway with the prize-giving ceremony. As you can see, the arena crew kicking into action and setting up our podium. We will be back with you in just a moment. Well, being escorted into the arena by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and leading the top 6 into the arena is our winner, Adrian Sterlake for the USA. Well, down on the ground, let's have a listen to our winner. It's over to you, Tracy.
And thank you, Killian. Adrian, you love it here. This is your 3rd Grand Prix win. You won both our 2-star and our 5-star last year. This is a different horse. Tell us a little bit about Tito.
Thank you so much. We do love Ottawa. As soon as I land, I breathe the beautiful air here. And there's so much green and space, and clearly my horses love it here. This is actually a horse who hasn't jumped on grass for, I think, 3 years since he was here last time. The facility is amazing. The horses are really happy here. He's a 16-year-old, and I've had him for 4 years. He has a heart of gold, tries super hard for me, as you can see. And I'm grateful for him to have this win because he deserves it.
Well, congratulations again. Félicitations. And I'll let you go over and see our sponsors.
Thank you.
Well, bravo and huge congratulations again to our winner, Adrian Sterlich and Facultal S, as we have been discussing. Not easy to win 2 Grand Prix last year, not easy to come back and then also retake that title. We now invite the top 3 to dismount, and they will step forward in just a moment. Wonderful to have the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. They have been here all week and they escort our winners into the arena. They're so well presented and very well turned out as always. Well, a pleasure to be here in the nation's capital, a pleasure to be here in Canada as we are about to crown our 4-star Grand Prix winner. The final moments here as we are inviting the top 3 towards that podium. And huge congratulations to them. The first one we invite onto the arena, third, is Connor Swale, Theo. Second, Charlotte Bettendorf for Luxembourg. And stepping up to the podium is your winner for the United States of America, Adrian Sterlich. Well, I now ask you if you are able to please stand and be uprising for the winning national anthem, the United States of America. A pleasure to welcome forward to conduct our prize-giving ceremony on behalf of the proud sponsor of this, the Grand Prix, and also the title sponsor of the Ottawa International. From RBC, the Regional President, Devinder Gill of Ontario North and East, with Karen Sparks, Executive Director of Wesley Clover Parks. Well, the ladies step forward and presenting to our winner. Give it up once more for the USA, Adrian Sterlich in Facultal S. Well, a beautiful moment, as you can see. Some flowers and a trophy is being awarded, and the sash and rosette very proudly worn by our winner. Simply could not be beaten with that time of 42.99. As always with our sport, it comes down to the finest of margins. It is just fractions of a second quicker than Charlotte Bettendorf's time of 43.25. Wonderful moment and a lovely picture being captured here. Our thanks to Devinder Gill and the team at RBC. 2 seconds. Charlotte Bettendorf, good girl, DK, Luxembourg. Well, again, some lovely flowers and a wonderful moment, great presentation. And we now step forward to present to third, Connor Swale, Theo, Ireland. Well, Connor may be familiar to many of you equestrians joining us here, as Connor based now in Toronto, as we have a lovely moment where the 3 top riders stand for a photo. And our thanks to Devinder, thanks to RBC, and of course to Karen for the incredible work that she leading the team here at Wesley Clover Parks in this international. Well, we also conduct our presentation and going down the line with our top 6. To Fort, Michaela Langmuir, Isere du Chalice for the USA. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he tried his best for the home nation. Sean Jobbin, 5th for Canada. And another rider that really tried to give it their all. He's still in the top 6. A wonderful performance for Dylan Monroe, Calippo, Canada. Well, just while the Royal Canadian Mounted Police leave the arena, a big round of applause for them. So well turned out, and always nice to have them join us here in Wesley Clover Parks. Well, only one thing left to do, and that is for our winner to lead us off in the lap of honour. Once more, our winner, Adrian Sterlicht and Facultal S. Sixth to Dylan Monroe for Canada. 5th, Sean Jobbin, Canada. 4th, Michaela Langmuir. 3rd, Connor Swale. 2nd, Charlotte Bettendorf. But once more, give it up for your winner, Adrian Sterlicht. A fantastic afternoon of sport. We hope that you have enjoyed it as much as we did too. But we still have another day of international jumping here at the RBC International of Ottawa. We will be back with you at 10 a.m. here tomorrow. We hope you can join us. But from myself, Mac, and all the team, we wish you a very pleasant evening. Au revoir.